Hello everyone, it's been a while. Welcome back to the AviationPro channel. Welcome to the 777 right here, a brand new aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's been a while. I know, it's been a long time actually. Some new people in. Let's see, Jill is in. Welcome in. Vince is in. Aviation Chris is in. Welcome from Australia. Glad you could make it. Dinesh is in. James, first time live in a year. Oh, actually, yeah. I think the last live stream I did was just a regular live stream, but I actually looked up the last full flight I did publicly live was 5 years ago. So it's been a long time. Of course, it has its reasons. Real life flying has come in the way. If you are have stayed tuned a little bit with the channel, I'm now a second officer on the Boeing 777 and 787. So. I'm lucky enough to call this aircraft my office, so I'm very glad that PMDG has released this airplane and that we can explore it a little bit. So for today, what I've planned is just to kind of show you my first impressions. I installed the plane yesterday. I didn't do anything but just making some configurations, setting up some cameras and things like that. I didn't taxi it, I didn't fly it, I just wanted to do that right now here in the stream, just to show you what it's like. And so I'll play around with it a little bit, just the way I usually test an aircraft. I just take it off without too much configuration and just try it out, and then maybe if there's some time we'll also do a little small flight. All the way from Australia. Well, welcome in. I'm glad this time zone worked for you, Chris. Tristan is in as well, and in general things are going well. So I hope the stream is doing okay. It should be okay. Yeah, PMDG 777. Let's take a look. Michael is in as well. Good afternoon to you. I've parked here at Seattle Airport in the US. I thought let's pick the default FS2 down to 4 airport where I would always start. Close to Boeing Field and Payne Field, of course. So let's talk a little bit about the aircraft itself first. I mean, the cockpit, it looks really stunning, very genuine. It's just the 3D modeling is perfect. If you just look around, when I change to this view, it really feels like I'm sitting in the real airplane. So that is just really well done. It's of course a big step up from the version that we had in prepared. I also enjoyed flying that version a lot. Very nice little details on all the knobs and switches. It's really amazing, guys. It's really a high quality rendition of the real airplane. I saw some nice little animations. It's very nice, for example, that you can open the window. That is definitely cool. If you need some air, if you need to get attention from the ground crew, if they're not on the headset, then you can shout from here if they can hear you. That's a challenge on its own, but really nice that they've modeled all that. And of course, also a cabin. Some very nice details here with the stowage compartments for your luggage. That's very realistic here. You would hang your coats and your other bags, and other bags would fit under this seat. I'm not sure if that's movable. No. This is also indeed very accurate. There's the things like the smoke hood and stuff like that in these kind of compartments. And usually there's a high visibility vest like this stowed away like that. And of course the cabin, it's really nice that we have a full cabin. Now I'm not entirely sure what plane they based it on, what airline or anything, but yeah, it's nice to have this. I think it's very realistic to have, of course, with the different galleys, and then the ability to look through the doors, through the windows, the different classes. It's really nice. I didn't really set up much cameras in here, so bear with me, but yeah, this is just amazing. So definitely very nice to have this over here. So yeah, let's go back to the cockpit. Of course I need to close the window fully. There we go. A bit of an exterior view. I noticed that the exterior view is a little bit loud, so I might have to tune down the volume a bit there. Hopefully this is a bit better. But yeah, amazing, right? It's a very good rendition, you know. It's they did a really good job on it. I think it looks genuine. So not much to say here about the exterior, really. Nice to see some of the effects. I think even the the elevators wobble as you provide takeoff thrust. Very realistic. The gears quite well modeled as well. You know, with little details like it's very loud, like the real airplane, with the brake wear indicators and stuff. So yeah, that's really cool. It's just really cool to have this airplane, guys, here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Alright, so I think we can be happy with this. Let's go back inside. It's not as loud, luckily. Yeah, and if you have any questions, by the way, things you want to see tested or anything, or specific things, make sure you let know in the chat so I can do something. So the only thing maybe I would say for the cockpit wise is the texturing. It is a little bit off maybe here and there. You know, I do have an NVIDIA filter. If I turn it off, you know, you can see kind of the difference between what I have normally with the filter on or not. But yeah, the brownish color, it's okay. It's maybe a bit too brownish. But it's hard to say because, you know, the lighting conditions also affect it. But the buttons are in reality a little bit more white. It kind of looks like we have some pilots with some very dirty fingers here at the moment. In real life, it would look a bit more like this. So as you can see, the buttons are quite white normally. Of course, they do have wear and tear, but yeah, they're not. Yeah, they should be just a little bit more white. This is very realistic. This. You know, this wear and tear around this range selection, you know, with the fingernails. Some aircraft even have it all scratched off. You can barely actually read what the distances are on the navigation display. So yeah, like I said, let's just take off. I of course did watch some videos. I did read a little bit in the PMDG forums what some of the comments are. So we'll just take a look. And have some fun with it, and I'll start to taxi out to runway 34 right here at Seattle, and let's see first how it taxis. So I think I prepared everything. I think I even did the before takeoff checklist. Very nice to have this, by the way. Take a little bit deeper look as we are in the air. Before takeoff checklist is already completed, so the aircraft is all set up. Okay. So let's go. Let's see if we can get the aircraft moving at least. I didn't really alter any of the configurations that I normally use with the PMDG 737 on hardware wise. So let's hope it all works. We'll release the brakes. On the 777, the ICAS is your friend. The parking brake set message is a good indication of whether the parking brakes are actually set. They're off now, so left is clear and right is clear, so we can start moving. Now the airplane is quite light, so we should be able to get moving quite easily. And as you can see, with just a little bit of thrust, it already starts moving. 300 ER, of course, being a very long aircraft, very yeah, taxi-wise, you have to be a bit careful. Make sure you make some nice oversteers. In reality, we also have the camera, of course, that we can view on the display right here. From what I understand, that's not possible in Microsoft Flight Simulator yet, so hopefully that will at some point be implemented, if not with FS 2024. So let's see. So far it feels smooth on this little straight stretch. Yeah, let's see. Okay, perfect. Let's get going. Let's make a first turn here. It does feel nice. You know, It really depends on your hardware setup. I'm using a simple Logitech 3D Pro joystick as my tiller. But yeah, that's nice. It feels good. It feels smooth. Some good oversteering. Hello Said, welcome in. I'll try to keep an eye on the live chat as well a little bit, but if I forget, bear with me. So yeah, I saw a lot of comments about sounds. I will give you my opinion once we did the takeoff. I do have an opinion about that, but let's just make sure we actually listen to it here in the studio to kind of see how it compares. Weather radar is on, terrain radar display, terrain display is on. It's nice to have at least some sort of weather radar, even though it's not a realistic version, of course, but still. And I think once I loaded up the airplane, I already got the cabin ready message. And it's indication that the cabin is ready for departure. So for departure, we'll just do a straight ahead takeoff, runway heading, climb to an altitude of about 5,000 feet. And then we'll see from there what we'll do. Alright. Nice. So yeah, airplanes like this, you want to taxi slowly, especially towards steep turns. Lego Steve is in, welcome in. And Ashton is in as well, hello. Glad you could make it to the stream, guys. So weather-wise, I just selected the fuel cloud steam, nothing special. We can play around a little bit with the weather later on as we fly the plane. Eric asks, are you going to do a tutorial on the 777? Yeah, the plan is to make a cold and dark startup tutorial, the classic AviationPro cold and dark tutorial. So that's in the works, and probably a VATSIM full flight as well. We'll do that as well. That will be nice. But it might take a while. I mean, I'm not flight simming that much, so just bear with me as I work on that. All right, it feels quite good, guys. Yeah. This joystick is a little bit old, so it might be twitching a little bit, as you can see on the tiller there. But it works. It works. Runway 34 right. Okay, let's say we've been cleared for takeoff already. Strobe lights are on already as well. TARA is already on. Okay, beautiful. Let's see, runway 34 right, and we'll do a bit of a takeoff, guys. See how it feels. Just gonna do a quick check of the weather settings, if the wind is relatively correct. There we go. So far so good. Okay. Yeah, feels nice. Weather, what kind of wind do we have? Really play around with this. Okay, well, it's all light winds, so it should be okay. Alright, perfect. So we'll just do a takeoff, and then we'll see from there, guys. Alright, so brakes are released, landing lights are on. Timer starts automatically on this airplane if you have a digital clock. And we will advance the thrust levers first to 55%. And 1. Hope all my buttons work. It starts moving quite quickly. There we go. Thrust ref. Seems to work in order. And thrust is set. Okay, 80 knots. Frame rate doing quite well. I think it's about 30 frames per second we're achieving here.
V1.
Rotates. Nice. Okay. Positive rate to gear up. Is it working? Yeah, seems to be working. Nice. Alright. That does feel nice, guys. The 777, you know, once you take off, of course I didn't really put in very accurate weight data or anything, but once you take off and get in the flight director, it can usually stay there quite well. So that's cool. We'll just accelerate here. Do a bit of hand flying. As we approach the airport or the city of Seattle, flaps 1. See how it goes, yeah. Accelerate to flaps up speeds. Feels nice, guys. I mean, one of the... Oh, it's already going to flaps up. There we go. One of the things I'm most interested about, or initially, is of course how it steers with the electronic flight control system that the Triple has. And I have to say it feels really, really good. Quite genuine. I mean, of course it's all within the limitations of the sim. Let's go to 240 knots for now. But it's good. It feels nice. Very smooth takeoff there. Speed alt. Let the auto throttles do their job as we level off. A bit of a turn. We can just turn the flight directors off here. That is okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so the plane is, you know, has a quite unique flight control system. It's not fully fly-by-wire as the Airbus is, but it has fly-by-wire components. So, you know, for example, when you make a turn, let's make sure we're leveled first. We're nicely trimmed. You shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be really required to have that much back pressure as you are in the turn. So, it's really nice to steer the airplane. It will compensate quite nicely for that. Let's go down a little bit here. You might need just a little bit of back pressure, but definitely not as much on as on the 737, for example. So that works brilliantly. That seems to be well modeled, especially within the limits of course, MSFS with quite an exaggerated atmosphere system. So that does feel good. Let's see how the chat is doing. What NVIDIA color settings are you using? Looks nice. I can quickly look it up for you. I have details on and color. I cannot show that here unfortunately, but maybe I can share that later if you're interested. How long have you been a second officer for? 1 year now, so I'm quite new to the airplane, but yeah, it's a very nice experience. Of course you don't get to fly it as much as the captain and the first officers do, but luckily in a simulator you get that experience. So but guys, it feels really nice. It's, yeah, it's always a bit difficult judging you know, the forces and the inputs that are required, but it feels like a heavy airplane. I mean, if you do something like this would require quite a bit of force on the real airplane. You know, some maneuvers like this, and you can try this in the simulator. You know, that's really nice. But it seems to be handling like a big jet, like it is, right? So let's get a bit of a view of the wings here. Nice, a bit of wing flex. I think they're using the MSFS model, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, that engine wobble, that's cool. That is really cool. Now, I'm not really paying that much attention to the exterior usually of airplanes like this, but that is cool to have. Very nice. Alright. So one thing, of course, about the 777, there are a lot of safety features. So, for example, bank angle protection. So it won't let you bank further than about 35 degrees. Unless you're really forced to yoke to do it. So let's try that. If it sort of steers back, Yeah, it does seem to steer back. That's nice. See, so kind of holding it right now. As you can see, the electronic flight control system doesn't compensate for that anymore either. For the altitudes. So that is correctly modeled. That's nice. Just set a bit of a higher altitude for now. So that is correctly modeled. So in real life you can, you know, very extreme situations, if you would need to, you can override this. But in principle, you do not really bank beyond 25 degrees usually. So that is very nicely modeled. Cool. Let's see. Autopilot disengage should disable that. If you put the autopilot disengage bar down, as you can see, I put that down right now. So that should, and indeed it does, override. Yeah, you can just override the bank limit right there. So that's correctly modeled. I mean, it's PMDG. They put a lot of effort in the systems behind the airplane. Also the different flight control modes and how the packs operate, things like that. So I think that is all nicely done. Let's climb a little bit higher, to about 10,000 feet. I'll let the autopilot do the job here. The MCP that I have here doesn't fully work yet, but it does an okay job for now, at least pressing some of the buttons. So we'll just go to Trust, Flight of Change Speed, and heading Select. And there we go. Let it fly for a bit. Cool. Beautiful. So, a quick word about sounds, because now I'm in the exterior view. Actually, the sounds, yeah, in the exterior sounds quite realistic. A little bit more realistic, I would say, than in the cockpit during the takeoff there. So I think they used, from what I read, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but from what I read, they actually used the sounds of the prepared version. So there's unfortunately not a new sound set. But during takeoff, I have to be honest, it's just not realistic. It's not a realistic type of sound. Also here, as we level off, you know, we're just now at 5,000 feet, probably also at 10,000 feet. It's just, these engines are a bit too much. The pitching, it sounds a little bit, to me it sounds a little bit too shallow, if that's the correct wording. A bit vacuum cleaner, I think some people also mentioned that. I think that is indeed the case. I mean, you can of course, let's turn the flight director on, by the way. You can of course, you know, it's something very subjective, and you can listen to recordings, and there are different recordings, there are different sound setups. Some people use their headsets, some people use speakers like I do, but it's, yeah, it just misses something. You know, I'd like to compare, you know, a big engine like the General Electric 90 to like a big church organ in a big cathedral. You know, if they play a big chord there, it's really a deep sound with more bass, bass, and then all the way high up. You know, it's a very nice and complex sound, and that's what this engine is missing. The engine sounds here in the airplanes are missing, and the pitch, this high pitch, it's not there in real life. So yeah, it needs some work. I really hope that they maybe, you know, get some new sound set of some sort to at least, you know, have some new recordings and improve a little bit there, because it just misses something. Let's see. Your mates are getting angry about it even. Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw some videos of people on approach, and this whining of the engines, it's too much. Of course, maybe you can balance the settings in the flight simulator, but yeah, indeed not deep enough. A bit more bass, but also this high pitch is, yeah, not very accurate. It's more of a deep rumble, and that high pitch should be a lower pitch. It's a bit difficult to explain, but if you watch some nice cockpit videos of, I don't know, just planes or air clips, you will know what I mean. It's yeah, it just needs a better quality overall, a bit more wider range of frequencies somehow, I think. Yeah, well, yeah, you know, during the takeoff as a second officer, you're always sitting in this seat in the back right here, or this seat. There were 4 people, so you have a bit more time to to actually focus on the sound as well. And I mean, the takeoff sounds are quite critical, because not only it's nice to hear, but it's also nice to be able to hear if anything's wrong with an engine. You know, quite a lot of pilots actually turn off their noise cancelling headsets to actually be able to listen what the engine sounds like, or you know, if you have a bird strike or something like that, you can hear it a little bit better. Hello Max, welcome in. Have you watched Pilot's Eye? They're German, less talking to the camera and more normal flying. I think I've watched a video on that. Yeah. I mean, go ahead and watch some videos of the real 777. You will notice then. All right, so let's see if we can have a little bit more fun. Let's see what I want to do first. I have a bit of a list. We already looked at the bank angle protection. Maybe we can look a little bit at store characteristics. So we have the autopilot on. We can actually tire also with autopilot off. Let's see. And let's see what happens when we reduce the speed here. See what it does to the airplane. Because there should be an automatic throttle activation. Probably in real, well, in simulator scenarios you wouldn't really do it above high terrain like this, but let's see. So we can just reduce speed here. Let's see if the auto throttles come alive. You know, it's one of those many protection features of the 777. At this point you can also still trim up, change the trim reference airspeed, but once you go into the amber band you won't be able to do that anymore. That pitch up change in trim airspeed is not allowed anymore. So let's just go a little bit above that. And as you can see, the pitch limit indicators appear. This happens when you are entering this amber band. And we should get an airspeed low warning as well later on. Let's see if that actually works. Airspeed low. There it is. And as you can see, the throttle is going up there. It doesn't want to go any further. So that's one of those protection features, and it's really nice. PMDG, again, a lot of effort in the flight model and the automation model to simulate things like this. As you can see, it takes nicely above the amber band right here. So this is just a bit of a demonstration of how well things like this are modeled. It's really nice to have. Okay. Let's see if I can get the zoom. That's something with FS Realistic sometimes also messing up. Yes, there we go. Cool. So those kind of things are simulated. That's really nice. That's really nice to have. And that's cool. I'll just get it back on autopilot right here. Let's see. Now, as you get higher in altitude, as you notice, there's quite a bit of wind noise. That's accurate. That's part of the sound system that I like. That you're actually able to hear that wind noise catching on the windshield, and that kind of tones down the engines. Because on approach there, from what I saw in the video so far, it's again a bit too much. Also during takeoff. Good question, Eric. Can you show us what a realistic seating position looks like? Yeah, I mean, it's quite tempting to go quite with a wide view in a large cockpit like this, you know. I mean, if you flew the PMDG 737, you didn't need as much of a wide view as this. But in reality, you know, you're quite close up to the displays. Yeah, if I have to exaggerate it, it would be something like this. Actually, I mean, you need to be able to read the displays well. I'm only using a 1080p screen, so when for now I've set this. This is somewhat realistic, just in the middle, you know, kind of having the the center of the screen sort of aligned with the yoke right here, and then yeah, not too high. I mean, in general, you shouldn't really be able to look over the glare shields. That will probably be a little bit too high. Of course, we also have indicators right here that you can use to set your eye reference position, but in the sim it's always a bit different. But just make sure you do not get the view too wide, not too high, and yeah, I would make sure that you not zoom in too much, like, or zoom out too much, like to get a kind of a fish eye look. To me, that kind of distorts the view. I'm not using something like this in the 737 either, so quite a normal zoom level without having that stretched out feeling is I think quite okay. All right. Yeah. Again, I'm flying this airplane for the first time right now here in the sim, so I may need to do some adjustments later on. But for now, this feels kind of okay. The only downside of MSFS is that your head turns or tries to stay aligned with the horizon during turns there, and that's not, of course, not very very nice. So, but yeah, that's just a sim limitation. Okay, so let's turn on terrain display here because we're quite close to some high terrain. But just to demonstrate that all of that gets nicely drawn. It's of course very realistic, very nice. In the end, I want to go to Vancouver to just try a little bit of a manual landing without much configuration. Just try it to land, and then maybe we can do a small little flight. All right. Let's see. So I've just loaded up a quick approach here in the departure arrival page for a Vancouver runway 26 right. One thing I do want to do is get a bit of a night view to see what the cockpit looks like at night. Let's see. We can change the real time. It is now morning here, so to speak, but let's make it night and kind of see what the flight deck looks like. And I think that just looks beautiful. I mean, they did a really, really good job here with getting the airplane lighting. Some floodlights, yeah, it's a bit annoying that they don't have the PMDG mouse options anymore. I should have this one. Really cool to have these floodlights. I mean, I personally like the triple. I mean, I fly both the triple and the 7.8. I like the triple because it has this classic old brown look here in the cockpit, and then when you have the floodlights at night, the kind of it emphasizes this good old brown look. So also right here on the aisle, here on the pedestal, yeah, it's great. I mean, they've done a great job. Of course, the master brightness switch is very handy on the triple. With just a twist of this knob right here, you can easily light up all the instrument backlighting and also the displays. And we also have a dome light, of course, a storm lights. Yeah, nicely modeled. It's all nicely modeled, I would say. You have some map lights right here. That would be this one over here that you can also adjust. It's even adjustable. That's cool. Indeed, terrain ahead makes me think of the 767. Yeah, it's 767 is where it all started, really. In FS2 down to 4, it's this brownish look. This little knob here is quite fun. It's unfortunately not fully simulated, but in reality, once you pull it out, you can turn it on, and then you can use this to you know, twist it to adjust the intensity of the light. And you know, usually when you eat food, you pull it out, and then after you're done with eating, you smash it. You know, it's like you just smash the light off, and then. But unfortunately, it's only a 2-click thing here. Chart light, work table. Yeah, I mean that's all in. The oxygen masks, of course, can also be tested. Things like that. That is just really cool. Really, really cool. Yeah. So. Indeed, some good memories of the 11D767, the brown cockpit. So yeah, I really like that. I mean, just look at this scene. It's genuinely very realistic. Not much I can say. The font here is also correct. Maybe it's just a little bit too big, but that would just be nitpicking. Yeah, what else do we have? Little look at the exterior here. Beautiful, huh? That is beautiful. I mean, I think everyone will be able to enjoy some great long hauls with this airplane as you cross time zones. And I mean, that's what this airplane is designed to do, to of course cross many time zones. You will fly this plane at night during sunset, sunrise. Sometimes you have a flight like right now where you would be in the, you know, kind of in the sunrise the whole time as you fly across the Atlantic. It doesn't really get dark at this time of day, time of year. So, let's see. Yeah, nostalgia. Yeah, I still get nostalgia too. I mean, that's really cool. And welcome in, Adam. Thanks for the nice comment. Glad you like it. Terrain Ahead wants to have a peek in the cabin. Yeah, sure. Let's take a look here. Let's see how they are doing. Maybe with GSX, with this new GSX version. Yeah. Also another thing, just to interrupt there. On the ground, I noticed there's quite a rough transition from going into the cockpit into the cabin. But here at altitude, it seems to be a little bit better. Oh, he even has this. Wow. That is nice. Does this work? I'm not even sure. Maybe someone knows. I haven't read any manuals yet, so. But maybe with GSX we'll be able to have some passengers seated here as well. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah. Mike says the cabin feels really long. Yeah, it is in real life too. It takes quite a while to get all the way to the back. Let's see, can we go further back? Oh, or are we hitting some sort of wall here? There we go. It definitely takes a while. And thank you, Terrain Ahead, for joining. Right here in the back, the deep rumble. I mean, there will probably be a bit more complex sound now. It sounds a little bit. You don't really hear any air conditioning systems, at least I don't hear any, but yeah, again, sound wise it could use a little bit more complexity here and there, but just look at this, right? I think we can soon have flight simulators just for the passenger experience. Indeed, Chris also mentions for now only the Phoenix, but I guess they will include that for other aircraft too later on. I'm not sure. Alright, so what I want to do is just to do a quick landing, manual landing, to see how it feels. We had a look a little bit at the flight system, of course. So I can kind of feel how it handles here at altitudes. You know, auto throttle disconnect, some hand flying. I'll do a little bit more of that. And it does feel good, guys. Quite a bit of input required there. aileron wise that is. Of course the honeycomb yoke is not really, let's get the feet a bit faster speed up here to 50 knots. It's very light on the ailerons. In the real airplane you definitely need quite a bit of force, but also maybe we can go down a little bit to 8,000 feet, for example. Force required to push the plane down. Yeah, it's hard to judge again what exact forces are required, but at least with the honeycomb yoke it feels quite realistic. So now the trim reference airspeed, I think there's an option in the PMDG options in the FMS there to actually show that. In real life you cannot see that on the speed tape, but if you want, I think it will show, like in the prepared version, a little blue line here to see what speed the aircraft is trimmed to. Because if you trim the airplane here with the electric trim switches, it doesn't directly trim the stabilizer or anything. It senses it through computers and just makes sure that it sort of flies like a Cessna, where a certain trim setting is set for a certain speed. So it is a bit getting used to if you're flying the 737. The 737 is much more like this, you know, steering and trimming. But the triple is a much more gentle airplane, you know. You basically just get the airplane where you want, and if you feel that you have a certain force too much, you just trim off the forces basically. So like right now I'm kind of feeling like I'm pushing too much forward, so I'm just giving a bit forward trim right here, and it should, yeah, quite closely stay to this airspeed if I just let go of the controls. And as you can see, it does that quite nicely. And if we want to slow down, yeah, of course we have to pitch up a little bit, remove some of the power. But yeah, my tip would be, if you're flying this airplane on approach, just treat it gently. Treat it gently. It shouldn't require too much input on the approach there. But we'll see. We'll do a little bit of a landing here soon, and then we'll check. Let's see. Of course, also nice to have all the status displays here on the display select panel. That's really nice. And also check the flight controls. As you can see, it also shows the mode that you're in. It's now in normal mode. But if you switch off the primary flight computers, there we go, disconnect them. Of course, it comes up with all kind of checklist, and as you can see, it's now in direct modes. And basically now your control inputs do not go through the computer. So things like as you can see, a lot of things fail. We cannot auto land. There's no auto speed brake. There's no thrust asymmetry compensation. Very important system on the 777, which is right here, which compensates for a, I think the Vancouver scenery is loading in the meantime, which compensates for a asymmetry in thrust due to an engine failure. So let's see, I just want to feel if it feels any different. I mean, it's still okay to fly, it should be okay to fly, but some of those protection mechanisms like bank angle protection are missing. And you know, if you want to keep an altitude, you should require quite a bit more force, because it is not correcting for those kind of things anymore. So it will fly a little bit differently in real life without the primary flight computers. So yeah, again, that's just one of those deep system simulations that PMDG has simulated. That's really cool to have. All right, cool. So that works. In the meantime, that might also be a nice opportunity to show you the checklists. Autopilot should not work either now. See, try to engage it, but doesn't allow me to do that. There we go. So that's correct. So we'll just have to kind of trim the airplane here, make sure it stays level. There we go. Yeah, the checklist function. That is, you know, everything goes through the ICAS basically. So everything you do. So it will show all the non-normal checklists once there is a non-normal checklist. So yeah, I can see what a primary flight computer problem is. You would of course go through this together with your colleague, and then you can see if you can fix the problem. And it's really nice. PMDG has fully simulated this. I think they've also simulated all the failures that you can basically get here. Now I need to fly and read the checklist at the same time, but we'll manage. So yeah, you can just read this aloud. The primary flight computer's checklist condition: the flight control system is operating in the direct mode. Do not accomplish this step if direct mode is desired. Primary flight computer is disconnected and auto. So we can give that a go. Put it back to auto. Primary flight computer's message blank. Yes. All right. Checklist complete. There we go. That is how you deal with checklist on the 777. Of course, this was an easy fix. It was we did the primary flight computers were not actually not working, but it just gives you a bit of an idea right here. Okay, so that's nice. After takeoff checklist also completed. Didn't do that yet, but yeah, that's the normal way it goes. So you first have the non-normal checklists, and after that you have the normal checklist that you can do. So from before we still had the after takeoff checklist to go. Okay, perfect. So I'll just make it a bit more daytime again, and then we'll come in for a landing to Vancouver. Let's see, something like this. Frame rate is a little bit low at the moment. I'm not sure why. Hope that won't be too much of a problem. And Mike says, I like landing it. I can butter it, but it feels stable in the controller. So let's see. I hope so too. We'll just use regular weather settings here, not too much weird things. So we'll just head in that direction for now. And we can turn on the autopilot again to get us there. Let's see, heading selects. And the auto throttles. Flight of a change. And we'll go back to, not even sure where this approach starts. Let me just get a quick look at some of the charts here. Vancouver. Let's say 26 right. I think that's what I've loaded in. We'll first go down to 3000. So we'll hit flight of a change. First flight of a change speed, and we are back on autopilot. So that's nice. We'll just kind of vector ourselves here. Okay, so far so good, guys. Really nice. Really nice to see. Let's do a quick setup. Yeah, some minimums. Let's see what it is. 209er on the barrow. I wish we had the PMDG mouse options back. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But I'm not sure if we can do this any faster. Yeah. Okay. Altimeter, let's see if it's changed anything. Still the same. 2992. Let's just select a quick VREF here. Yeah, okay, 31 for 3. There we go. That's nice. Have you had any FMC crashes? Well, this is my first flight here on the PMDG 777 for MSFS, so I don't know. But I've heard some stories. I think they are working on a fix at the moment. There was a post in the forum today to at least fix some of the initial items there, because that is of course a bit of a shame if things like that don't work. So let's see. I hope it, especially for the long haul, you just want stuff like this to work, right? Now I'm not gonna make any performance calculations. I'm just gonna do this quick and dirty, but we'll just do it like this. We'll make 2 left turns, intercept the ILS here, and then see how it feels. Just that's important to me, just to see what the plane feels like. Avoid pressing the clear key. Okay. Yeah, that's a shame. I'm not gonna test that out. I wanna make my first landing here in the plane kind of properly, but let's see. All right, so we can do another checklist here, the descent checklist, recall. Well, we don't have any items anymore. Recalls checked, notes. If there are any notes associated with the non-normal checklist, it would appear here. It's currently a little bit behind the arm is speed brake already. So there we go. It would appear here with additional notes saying things like during an engine failure about requiring to check the performance for your landing and things like that. Auto brakes 3, landing data, free ref flaps 30, 143, and a barrow minimums 209 there. And approach briefing, yeah, well, normally you would of course do that a bit more advanced, but let's say it's completed for now. And descent checklist completed, and we can do the approach checklist right away. I think it doesn't. Normally in the real airplane it will go automatically to the normal key, you know, once you had the last item. So you can just quickly, you know, also here it would just go there, but yeah, that's not the case here. But okay, altimeters 2992 on 3 sides, passing 3860. There we go. Approach checklist completed. So let's do a quick approach here, and then I'll set up for a little flight using live weather probably to get us from A to B. See what that is like. Okay, let's see. I think we can turn in already. I'm not gonna make it too complicated, so I'll start reducing speed as well. 300, a slippery airplane, as they say, at least in real life. Let's see. Yeah, probably have to do a couple full flights to really judge that, but it takes a while to slow the airplane down. And speed brakes are used quite often, actually, especially, you know, when you get some sort of weird restriction by air traffic control. Quite soon you would have to use the speed brake, so that's perfectly normal if you ever see that. So start making a bit of a left turn here. Runway 26. And here come the engines again. Yeah, it's just a bit too much. I like the howling sound. They're definitely a sort of a howling sound in the real airplane, but yeah, one can exaggerate. Okay, let's see how this goes. Again, it's very loud right now. I think before, wasn't there on the 737 an option to actually oh, here can you adjust cabin lights, that's nice. To actually adjust sounds as well? Or is that not here? Maybe that was on the prepared version, but I'm not sure. Let's go to tow team, direct, execute for now. And that's indeed the case. Yeah, that's what I read. That's what I noticed. Also, the little shaking sounds. Yeah, they're just ported straight from prepared, unfortunately. So, okay, let's actually go a little bit here. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame, but maybe they can work together with some sort of other sound company to get some realistic sounds on the plane. I mean, Microsoft Flight Simulator itself is very much a collaboration, right, between different parties. Select flaps 1. Not sure how my flap handle exactly is configured, but this works. Flaps 1. Start reducing a little bit. Let's make sure have a bit of a stabilized approach. Yeah. At idle it sounds fine, actually. It sounds quite realistic. Let's see, we have, what are we supposed to have here? We have India Romeo Delta identified, no glide slope yet. But we do have the localizer there. That's good. Yeah, sometimes my zoom gets stuck. I think that's an FS realistic thing. But yeah, look at this, alright, beautiful. I I love the mood that comes with you know, the sim. Flying through the clouds like this. You know, when you have some rain, the different lighting. And I've been at FS Expo. By the way, nice to meet some of you there. A special shout out to Ron as well. It was nice to see you guys there. With the FS 2024, it's going to become even better, also with lighting effects on clouds and stuff. It is really quite cool, guys. What we're gonna get here. Okay. So I'll soon turn in. Let's go to flaps 5. Okay, works good. Alright, let's see, Vancouver already in sight. Look at that. Not sure how the frame rates will be, guys. I hope it won't be too bad, otherwise we'll visit another smaller airport. Cabin ready, that's nice. That sounds triggers me immediately because it means that the cabin wants something, or you have a cell call message or something like that, or an uplink. Let's see, you don't want to turn in too bad here. Let's see, kind of guesstimating right now. Localizer glide slope armed. Start reducing. So let's see what it feels like. CP flight MCP is lagging a little bit behind there. Alright, a little bit more. Let's take it easy here. So far the autopilot system is handling it nicely, guys. It's doing a pretty good job from what I can see in this few minutes of flying. There we go, localizer. Heading buck will go along automatically. Unfortunately it doesn't update here, but that's okay. Glide slope is alive. Beautiful. A bit. Maybe we can change the sun to go in the back. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay, let's go gear down. I hope that all works. And flaps 20. Nice animations also of all that. Perfect. Missed approach altitude 5,300, I think. Quick look. Alright, perfect. And we can close that. And well, I'll just reduce the final approach speed already. +5.
25.
We'll land with the auto throttle on. Auto throttle will take care of all the adjustments, even with, you know, crosswind or headwind. You can just leave the +5. We'll go to flaps 30. +5 increment there. If you would fly with manual throttle, we would do the regular increments also with, as you would do on the 737, for example. See, it goes to flaps 30. Yeah. Because then, yeah, they think the human interaction doesn't react as fast. So let's see. Alright, we're quite pitched up, but we are a little bit heavier than you would probably be in real life, so that's looking quite okay. At least in stable conditions, it's nice. So let's see, guys. First landing, I'm gonna fly manually, but with auto throttle on. That's good. Usually the way you land with the triple. You can fly with auto throttle off as well, but I just want to see how the automation does it. Speed brake armed, and do the landing checklist. Landing checklist completed. Okay, let's see. Make it butter. We'll try. Frame rate 25 frames per second, so it's not the most ideal conditions, but flight director. Yeah, it feels stable. It's realistic, you know. Once you disconnect the autopilot, there should not be too much adjustment necessary. So that is quite genuine. Okay, here we go, guys. I do not have any frame gen or things mods like that, no.
1,000.
Stabilized. I found on my system displays would get kind of blurry with those kind of things. But yeah, I'm not flight simming that much, so I'm not very current on all those little tricks. But I have to invest a bit more time in things like that. But it's okay, it's flyable. Very nice, way more stable than the 787 that comes with the sim. Let's say we're cleared. Good, it feels good, guys. I mean, for stable weather conditions, it feels really good. Keeps speed well. Not the frame rates I hoped for, but I like that the plane is still controllable in the States.
Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Nice. Speeding up. Let's see if the reverses work. Reverse is normal. Cool. Manual braking. Let's go full reverse just to listen. Okay, 60 knots. Alright. Cool. Nose came down a little bit hard, but otherwise that was, I think, a nice landing given the little bit low frame rate conditions. But let's make a stop here on the runway. There we go. Nice. Set the parking brake. I also heard some people complaining about parking brake setting. It is a bit tricky on this airplane, also in real life. Yeah, you have to. I'm using rudder pedals, but you have to press them, pull the parking brake. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time before it catches it. But then at some point you should see the parking brake ICAS message, especially if you release the toes. There we go. So, and now the frame rates are suddenly a bit smoother. I don't know. Maybe it had to load some of these airport elements in here. Nice, very nice. Thank you, Chris. You have to engage localizer before you can engage approach. Not really. It's an optional thing. You can just click approach immediately to arm the localizer in glide slope modes. It will just not capture the glide slope before capturing the localizer, at least of the airplane on in my company. Yeah, what can I say from the first landing, guys? Good, it feels stable. Of course, this was a relatively simple approach weather-wise. Not much challenging conditions for the triple. We'll see. We'll do a little flight after this to in a few minutes to kind of experience a little bit more. But yeah, so far I'm quite impressed by the way it feels and the way they have been able to. I think my reverses are still. There we go. Now it should be off. Maybe we can take a quick look outside of that. See how that. Nice. Yeah, so what I wanted to say was, you know, that they've been able to deal with the Microsoft Flight Simulator weather engine and atmosphere engine, which can be quite rough. I do have my turbulence settings set to the medium setting, not the realistic setting. I do think the realistic setting is a bit exaggerated, but then again the medium setting could use a little bit more here and there. But yeah, from what it feels like, they've done a nice job with that to actually model it all. So steering in this plane feels great. Absolutely well done job by PMDG. It's definitely very nice. And again, just the general atmosphere of the cockpit, the system depth. I mean, I'm pretty sure if we, you know, do things like leaving the center pumps on, there will be some like overheat things popping up because there's no fuel in the center. We can take a look at the gear here, look at the brake temperatures and brake pressure. Yeah, of course, especially after an RTO, this will rise as well. And temperatures usually, yeah, as you can see, it rises a little bit still after landing. It takes a couple of minutes to actually get to the hottest temperature. So this is all modeled, and this is what makes this plane so amazing. It's with any PMDG plane. I mean, that's just the quality that you can expect. So yeah, from what I can just say from this first initial impression is just everything is amazing except the sound. The sounds could do better. I think there was a comment here before, kind of missed it. Let's see. From Berlin flight, hi, welcome to you. I believe PMDG have stated that sounds mod should be possible. Developers will need to contact PMDG to get them working with the plane though. Yeah, go for it, developers. If you are, I mean, in the old days there was Turbine Sound Studios that was making these kind of things. Maybe yeah, there are other talented people, but of course you also need to have actual recordings of the plane itself. So hopefully that will someday come to fruition. But yeah, from this first initial impressions of this little flight we did, really good, really nicely done. Frame rates, yeah, I mean, my system is already quite old. Actually, it's not performing as well as I would like anymore. I do plan on getting some other system later on in a few months or something, but at the moment it's not really on the list, but we'll see. But I think we can all be happy with this add-on, and it will improve over time. You know, any things that are wrong, also the freezes, you know, that I've heard people about. I wonder if it happens, you know, if we click this button, does it actually freeze? Something with the clear button? Maybe not in this, but yeah. You know, sometimes I do wonder a little bit what kind of people are on the beta team of add-ons like this. I mean, yeah, the sounds are quite obvious. That's I'm kind of disappointed that they yeah, included it in this state in the plane. Let's put it that way. And also the freezes that people experience, of course. Yeah, for a long haul jet, that's not the most great thing, but it will improve over time. I mean, I love the 737 as well in the sim. That one feels really nice. So all right, let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. I will take a look at that frame gen stuff sometime. Takeoff as you're ready. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna take off in this configuration, but clear for takeoff. Yeah. Hello, aviation engine. Welcome in. Glad you could make it. And the sound on the prepared version were much better. Yeah, that was indeed. I did really like that one as well. At least for that time. Again, I still think they need to make new recordings, ideally, because using an old sound set to me is a bit So yeah. Anyway, what I wanted to do was just to do a little bit of a quick flight. I'm not going to go online on VATSIM anything, but let's just reset this. In the meantime, I'm going to open a window here because it's quite hot, and this PC is of course running crazily. Cadet Vinatu says you could also try lossless scaling. Yeah, guys, I could try. Maybe we can start up the sim and then try it out. I haven't really experimented with all of that recently. So what I wanted to do is just to do a quick little flight from London Heathrow to Dublin, just to have a bit more, you know, in the flow of things, experience with the airplane. Let's see what you guys are saying here display-wise. I haven't looked at these settings in a long time, but I think it's what was it? DLLA? No. DLSS, that's the one. And then I have to go for which one? Lossless scaling? I'm not sure. Let's see. I will experiment with this a little bit later on, but for now I won't touch any settings to not mess things up. But let's see. Let's go to the other side of the world with live weather and live time. There we go. Should be a bit more challenging. Dublin. Let's see if it loads any weather right here. Not yet. No. I wanted to just go to London Heathrow. Where is it? There. Also GSX I have not tried yet. This looks like a big stand. So there we go. Some clouds. Yeah, let's just see. I'm not even sure what state it will start at the gate, but let's see. Yeah, I agree. So the bass, absolutely. It should roar through the subwoofers. One airplane I really like that I recently got, and it's just a twin engine prop airplane, but it's the Caus Day DA42. The sounds in that airplane are just absolutely spot on. And once I flew that plane in real life during flight training, and once you kind of get used to that, oh, I hope it doesn't. It's giving this problem again. Ready to fly. Okay. The sound of that airplane was so good, really good. As soon as I started it up and took it for a first flight, it felt exactly like home again. So, you know, it can be done. It just requires effort, I guess. And also, what that was nice, they included a headphone simulation in that airplane, so that it really sounds like you are having headphones on. So, yeah, hope PMDG does something with this, guys. But we'll see. Let's see. So this is the first time I'm starting it up at the gate here. I'm not sure in what state it is. This looks like PMDG stuff. Okay. I'll just try to call up GSX if it works. I'm not sure if that also will remove all the PMDG items. We'll see. So we'll just set it up for a quick flight. Okay. Circuit breaker panel doesn't work.
Hello,
so
Captain. We are ready for pushback.
You wouldn't be able to do any of that, unfortunately. But okay. Circuit breaker panel is one of the things you check. Of course, when you get on board Cockpit voice recorder, you would have a little check as well. See if it gets into the green zone there.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Emergency escape rope for escaping the airplane through the window. And the 787, this would be an escape hatch because it doesn't have windows that can be opened. Yeah, cool. Nice. Alright. So I did
Locking gear.
have a little bit of an sim brief flight plan put together. Perfect. Let's check the engine page. Enough oil. It's one of those ETOPS things to always have enough engine oil on the plane. Okay. Recall button, as you can see, if you press it, you scroll through the different pages as well. So if you have multiple pages of ICAS messages, you can scroll through the different pages with that button. APU is already running. Okay, I'm not even sure how much fuel was supposed to be on board. Let's get some fuel on board first, and then we'll quickly set it up for a flight. Let me see here on the iPads. And I wonder what you guys think, by the way, about the airplane. Have you already got it? What do you think of it? Do you have any things that you would want to see improved, or are you already happy with it as it is? I'm wondering what your guys' opinions is it on the plane. Welcome, Space Gamer. When is the gear coming down when flying the 777 in VMC and IMC? It doesn't really matter when it's VMC or IMC. Officially, you know, when the glide slope is alive, you can already put the gear down. It depends a bit on the type of glide slope, of course, but you know, just before glide slope intercept at about 2,000 feet above the ground, yeah, you would want to configure for gear down flaps 20 on the airplane. Okay, let's see how much we should be loading in according to this flight plan to sort of have correct figures. I did plan a little bit of extra fuel just in case we need it. Payloads, we have a zero fuel weight of, let's see, 208.2. So yeah, I'll just quickly show you a little flight from London to Dublin. That's what I've planned for now. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, weather should be quite interesting. We'll take a look a little bit into that later. Okay, so I've just loaded up something in here at least, and we'll get the ADI IRU going. One of those things you always have to do before flight. Make sure it's off for at least 30 seconds. Let's arm that. Just get a quick panel scan here. Off for 30 seconds so it can redetermine its position. APU is already running. Okay, that's fine. Camera lights to use with the ground camera if it was working. But alright. That's all good. Of course, you can do a little test of the fire systems here. Indications. This red light is a little bit excessive. Probably wouldn't brighten up the surroundings that much, but okay. Nice. Good. All systems simulated like they should be. Okay. Right. Let's go through the checklists, give them a bit of a reset, and of course another big thing, CPDLC. Once I do a VATSIM full flight, I'll of course experiment with this, but it's really nice to have. Really nice to have all these menus that you would also have in real life. Of course, in real life you would have a bit more. Also in the manager, the company, but all the basic HC functions seems to be there, even an emergency report. Some people like to, you know, already beforehand, just in case, put the amount of passengers in here. Oh, I think I should do it on this one. Invalid entry. Okay. Not sure. Just in case to put something in. So you already have that information at the ready once you want to send out that position report or mayday report. Speed request, altitude requests, and it's all in there. That's really nice to have. So if you're flying on VATSIM, you have to integrate that with the Hoppy ACAR system, and then you can actually make use of that. Let's see. Any more comments? How much time 777 went starting the engines? Oh, I've never really timed it, but let's take a look. I can tell you once we start the engines if it's kind of close. I take it as per the PMDG 737-800. All setup and config is based on delivery specific. Yes, as far as I understand, it is. Okay. Alright, let's get a bit of a position going. Also want to check all this data, make sure you have the right AirRock data. You can adjust the fuel flow factor here as well if you want to. If you have an old airplane which uses more GPS positions. Nowadays you have to be a bit more careful with this, not just simply selecting this because of GPS jamming in many parts of the world, unfortunately. So you have to be making sure that your position is correct. You can also, of course, enter the reference airport and gate for some more information on that. Let's see. Ooh, Aviation Chris, nice. 5 AviationPro memberships. Nice. Welcome in, everyone. Like a lot of members coming in. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope the people who joined will like it. Let's see. Thank you very much. So yeah, we would enter a flight number. I think my flight number was Boeing 777. And I'm not sure the way it's stored in the system actually. I think with ICAO codes. Oh. No, maybe there, if we can just request. Ah, it's not in there yet, is it? I did export it, as far as I know. Otherwise we have to type manually, but that's also okay. But it seems to be empty. Apparently there's a different folder in the... Maybe I can take a quick look at the SimBrief downloader, if we can make that happen. Yeah, okay. I need to add a directory also for the wind uplink. Let me see if I can quickly do that. So 777 work flight plans. And for the weather we also need a directory. Okay, and then export selected formats. Okay, let's see. Oh, there we go. That works. Now it's in. Real life it would work a little bit differently. Let's see if that's simulated here. No. Well, we can just pick it up here. Alright. Oh, is it freezing? No. Requesting. Okay, I'll let it do its thing. You have to put SimBrief username. Oh, I think I've done that. But that's okay. At least we have a route to uplink right now, so we'll load that. Not sure which runway is in use in London. I think it's planned for 27, right? So we'll just use that one. Okay. Route 2 is nice to have. You can make a route copy, so you have the route also in Route 2, just in case. And you can of course use Route 2 also for other things like escape routes or just planning another arrival that you can activate as quickly as possible. Okay, performance. Let's see, doesn't come with a 0 fuel weight, but let's see, what did we have? 208.2. Nice. Okay. And we'll select a departure, the content 3 Foxtrot. We'll select an arrival in the air. Welcome Space Gamer, glad you enjoyed the VATSIM videos. Hopefully soon there will be one with 777 as well. Alright, perfect. Now let's say the fuel is loaded, so we can also load some wind data. Perfect. Yeah, this just all works like you would expect from a PMDG aircraft, right? So that's really nice to have. Of course, we can do some performance calculations as well with this EFB right here, performance tool. Let's see. Let me just set up some things here first. Let's go back to hectopascals. I'll take a quick look through the weather here at London Heathrow. See what we have. Wind is 250 degrees, 13 knots, good visibility. Overcast 4,400, temperature 20, dew point 7, QNH is 1017. Okay, here as well, and on that side as well. Dublin currently using 28 left. Perfect. Alright. That's good. Let's see what else we want to have turned on here. Airports. Data is nice later on as well. A flight director. I think I should reconnect this thing. Bear with me while I deal with all the simming things. Sometimes flying in real life is a bit easier because it just all works with your muscle memory, and here you have to fiddle around with the mouse and with simming things not working. And Mike says you can move the EFB to the front. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, with the hand. Cool. Yeah, you kind of use this in real life. You know, when you brief each other, you usually take it away from the socket and then you know, have it in the middle so you can brief with each other to get through the flight plan. So it can be installed here. It can also be installed on a window. Or here actually can also be installed. On some 777 operators you still have the classic EFB here. It's not really used, but you can use it for the video. You can check out what's going on in the cabin. But I'll leave it here for now. Okay, let's see if we can connect. I think it's connected again. Nice. Oh, throttle is on. Runway heading will be later on. Let's see. Always struggling a bit with Jeppesen charts because that's not the one we use. Let's see. .269 for the runway heading. And we'll initially climb to 6,000, I think. Again, I'm just doing a bit of a quick and dirty setup, guys. Just to try out the plane. Just don't expect too much high-end procedures here today. Okay, this is all looking good. If you are ever cold when you wake up in the middle of the night from your crew rest, you can turn these things up, make it nice and warm. I do wonder, I think PMDG would go as far as actually simulating this in the flight deck temperature. Let's see. I'm just wondering now. Would be fun if we turn these all the way up. Right now we have a temperature of 24 degrees. It should be set to that. It should be able to manage to keep that, but I wonder if they go as far as simulating these heating elements, actually making the air system make it go cooler. Maybe someone knows. Maybe someone has found that in the manuals or something. It's really nice though to have things like that when you are a bit cold when you just wake up. Okay, this is all set up. Just make sure that this is all a bit in order. Let's set the parking brake as well. Yep. Alright, perfect. Now I even heard, correct me if I'm wrong, but that the microphone buttons actually work when you fly on VATSIM. So of course you already have a push to talk key, but apparently pushing the actual mic button works. That's really nice. I wonder what this button does. So that's really cool. I mean, this is one of the panels that you use most often in real life. Talking to ATC, cabin interphone, listen out on the speaker for the flight interphone for the ground technician to call you. This CDU is mostly used for the cabin interphone, so you can make a ground call, for example. You probably hear that. Yeah. So you can let them know that you want to speak to them, or call the different doors in the airplane. So that's all in there. Really cool. Let's turn it off for now. Yes, there we go. Alright, let's do a bit of a check on the first officer side. This one has some trouble. Okay. I'll have traffic also on this side. Auto brake to RTO. Yeah. Alright. So I'll do a bit of a performance calculation with the tool here. Let's see how it actually performs during the takeoff. Can we do that? Yeah, I haven't linked it yet, but I'll do that later. Let's just get the view a little bit out of the way of this tiller. It's it's always fun to play with this thing. Also during cruise, just rotate it. There we go. So we are taking off from Heathrow, runway 27 right. Okay, we'll just leave this as it is. Optimum flaps, we'll just use assumed temperature. Anti-ice won't be required today. Takeoff weight, well, we'll just use the current weight here, 2282, to keep it simple for now. Of course, it will be a little bit lighter, and CG, we'll have to somehow get it out of the system here. 29%. Can we import weather? Oh yeah, that does work. Okay. Should be able to calculate something. Okay. So let's see how that performs. Okay, perfect. So we can enter some of that data. Of course, in real life you would always cross-check this also with the load sheet, but I'm just gonna plug it in right now. Actually, thrust limit first. Did we have an assumed temperature? Yes, of 64 degrees. And I will go a bit more in detail, guys, in the cold and dark startup tutorial that I'm gonna plan to make. It might take a while, but I can assure you it will be a good one. So you can have some fun with the airplane as you start it up slowly. Flaps 564 degrees. So gives V1 148, 153, 159er. 148, 143. 148. Yeah, okay, that's all the what's in there as well. Okay, good. VNAV. Transition altitude. What is that at Heathrow again? $6,000. Yeah. Okay. And Vershouse says, how many months did your selection last? Just enrolled for the selection of KLM. Oh, nice. I can recommend that. my selection took about a year, but I think these days it goes quite a bit faster. Yeah, because you have to go through all the different phases of selection. Actually, I made a video about that I think a few weeks ago, discussing the selection process of a flight school, any typical flight school. And so all in all, it took a year for me from signing up to actually finishing. But yeah, just yeah, it really depends on the flight school and how things are going at that flight school, if they really need people. But for me, there was just a lot of time between the different phases, so it took a little while. But yeah. Okay. Welcome in, Kerpap. This is all good for now. Okay. Perfect. Again, these displays, it's very accurate. All these displays, of course, the doors is something you would want to keep open. I'm not sure if GSX is gonna close any of that, so I'll probably need to do some things here. Ground connections, doors, close all. Would that work? Ground operations, surface vehicles. I don't think that's GSX. No. Actually working. And Mike says GSX can't interact with any of the doors yet, only to tell you to open to close them. Aha. Okay. I thought that would be like a someone mentioned a full GSX integration, but apparently not. So I'm not sure. Oh. This is all removed. Cabin, potable water. Ah, release. Release. There we go. That should doors should be closed after that. Okay, perfect. Okay, we'll just have to wait to see how that goes. But I'm sure over time GSX will get into that. Nice that you can adjust the brightness. Also realistic. Okay, perfect. So I think most of this is set up. We have a nice performance calculation. Let's see outside right now how things are going. Yeah. Ooh, frame rate dropping a little bit here. Let's see what we got. 14 frames per second. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's related to the PMDG 777 really, guys. It's just the outside view for some reason on my system can really be messed up sometimes. It's time for a new PC already. Okay. So we can do a bit of a pre-flight checklist. Oxygen is tested 100%. Make sure they're all tested on 100% function. Flight instruments, heading 269 over here as well, and over there and there, and also always make sure you include the compass with that check. Altimeters 1017 showing just under 100 feet 3 times. Completes the pre-flight checklist. Okay. Let's see where GSX is in the queue. No. Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, we can get a little bit into the flow of things. Of course, I'm not even sure if GSX installed some sort of bypass pin, but I think they have. The frame rate is getting really low here. Hope it gets a little bit better, guys, later on. But let's see. APU is already running. Now, one thing, another sound thing is, I already read it on the forums and I already saw some videos on that. Now seatbelts do work, I think. There they go. But there's a lot of switching in the air conditioning systems of the triple as you switch on certain systems or switch on an engine, turn off an engine. Also when you start to pressurize the hydraulics, first this one always, you can hear that switching. That fault light extinguisher is a bit fast, but okay. Yeah, it's part of the plane. It would be nice if things like this were simulated. It's kind of the same like with the 737. Putting the generators on is really like a clunk sound, I believe. It's just not included here. It would just add so much to the immersion if those kind of sound effects were included. Unfortunately, they are not. Fuel pumps, of course, on the triple. One is already being used in the background by the APU. Turn it on, and then we always check the ICAS if there's a fuel in center message. In this case there is no fuel, so we can leave the center pumps off. Get the beacon light going. Do a bit of a recall check again. Okay, that's all as expected. And set the transponder to XPDR. Okay. One more question by Cadet Vinde2. Does your airline job ever get boring? Good question. Don't really like doing the same day every day. I fear that it might become a bit boring after a while. So I was thinking about a career as a seat pilot. I'm not sure what you mean by seat pilot, but yeah, what can I say? For now, no. A year of flying, it's still good. I still love it. Sure, there are moments where it's boring, but luckily you have nice colleagues, you have nice people in general. Single engine air tanker, oh right, cool. Yeah, even though the flight's long, I think the longest flight I had was about 14.5 hours. It's a long flight, but it's also part of the job to keep each other awake, to keep keep each other busy and stuff like that. So in general, I don't find it boring yet. Of course, you do hear some people who do get bored after a while, and I think that's perfectly normal. Maybe you go through different phases, but usually within an airline you can also do other things like giving instruction or switching to other aircraft types. So there is quite a bit of opportunity there. Alright. Okay, let's see if we set all this here, looking good. We have the V2 159er. We'll fly that with LNAV and VNAV later on, and we have a trim of 4.75 units. There we go. Okay. Well, I'll just give a quick review of the departure. I'm not going to do a full briefing, but we're just going to fly the Compton departure as it's been loaded in the FMS with the restriction there at 6,000. We'll probably just clear those restrictions and climb to our cruise level of, I'm not even sure what that was, 320, and then we'll take it from there. So that's kind of the departure which you can expect. But I just wanted to go through this flow a little bit just to get a feeling of the plane during the startup and see how that performs. Okay, so we can do the before start checklist. Before start checklist, flight deck door closed. Goes all over the place sometimes. Flight sim. Closed and locked. MCP V2 159er heading 269er, altitude 6,000. Takeoff speeds we have V1 148, rotate 153, V2 159er, CDO pre-flight completed, trim 4.75 units, 0 and 0. Here's the aileron trim. Don't have that on the 787 actually. And taxi takeoff briefing. I'll just It's a simple version, but let's say it's completed. Completes the before start checklist. So let's see if we can remove the wheel chocks safely. And remember, on the 737 it would usually already start pushing back when the wheel chocks were removed. Ground connections, they are removed. Let's see. No. I think they are still there, right? Or do we still have to remove something? Doors are set, so let's see. I'm probably missing something. If you guys know, then let me know. But maybe GSX is out of whack. There's no ground power connected anymore, so that should be okay. I did read that it was not really fully operational with GSX yet, so there might be something in the back not ready yet. That should remove. I'm not sure. It would be a bit of a shame if the wheel chocks cannot be removed right now. It happens on the real plane sometimes if the airplane is too far forward into the chocks. But here it should just release, right? No. That is weird. Anyone in the comment section has this? Had this before? I don't know what this is. Just to be sure, I'm gonna save panel state. Maybe this is one of the freezes already. State save, just to be able to load something up in case we're just gonna do it without the pushback after a quick restart. Are you following Oranje NL football squad? Of course, yeah, playing on Tuesday again, right? Nice, should be free to watch. You can remove the chocks in the EFB. Oh, that's a good one. Let's see. Ground operations. Remove chocks. Ah, amazing. Thank you, Dilly-Doo. That helps a lot. See, that's why we still need multiple pilots on board airplanes. Let's see, I just want to get a quick view set up here of the engines. Maybe that's nice. There we go. Nice to see the N1 blade spinning in the wind there. Perfect. Route today, simply set up route from Heathrow to Dublin. Okay, so I think it should be ready to go now. Let's see what GSX says. Probably crashed in the meantime as well. It never works when you want to actually use it. That's the window is not popping up. Let's see. There's always something, right? But that's okay. This is the first time we're trying this on this airplane, so let's see. It opens the GSX menu, as you can see it a little bit there, but it immediately disappears again. Okay. Maybe we'll just use the standard pushback function. Can you do that here as well? Ground connections, service vehicles. It's nice that they've included this. I really didn't pay much attention to this here. But Oh, is it gonna do stuff now? No, I hope not. Is it gonna fuel the plane anywhere? This takes a little getting used to, but I know you can do a pushback from here. Yeah, restart Quattro. Exit. That's a good one. And then fire it up here. Quattro. Oh yeah. Start Quattro for GSX MSFS. See what that does. The flaps went down there. And then go here. Doesn't work. It just keeps crashing. Then we'll skip GSX for now. I'll do some more testing later on to see if that works. And we'll just go to ground operations. Off. First set the wheel chocks. I don't know, guys. I might just use the slew mode. It's not working the way we want it to work. Maybe Task Manager could help. Quattro scripting engine. There we go. And task. Let's see what that does. And then start it as admin. We're gonna do everything right according to what Windows wants. And then after a short little while, giving it some time, open it up. Nah, it still doesn't work. That's a bummer. Does Shift B still work actually? Or not? No. Okay, in that case we'll just slew the plane. Not the most, not what I hoped for. But I cannot even find a pushback function in here that would work. Somehow it's all grayed out. I think the see, it's grayed out for some reason. So something is messing up here, but nah. In that case, we'll do it the hardcore way. Just push back and we'll start the engines from this position. See if we can sort of get it on center line there. There we go. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Alright, so before start checklist was completed, and we'll get the engine page up here to monitor all the items. And then we should be ready for start. APU is running, so let's get the right engine start. Now that is actually decreasing the air, I think. I'm not even listening well enough. So that is actually correct. Once you start the engine, it goes down a little bit. So let's listen to the engine sounds. Yeah. Engine startup sounds are pretty much spot on, I think. That is really cool. Now that's a good part of the sound system. Let's be honest, guys. That's really spot on. Timing as well. It of course depends on the conditions. I'm not sure to what degree they've simulated that. It depends on the conditions. But in general, it felt quite alright. Maybe a little bit slower, but close enough. Close enough. Let's start the left engine. this is really good. The deep rumble. They can keep that. They change some of the other sounds, but they can keep this. Correct indications. You can see the vibration increase as the engine starts. You can see it can go up quite high. This is realistic. And once it stabilizes, it will go down again nicely. Perfect. There we go. Nice. Not bad, not bad, these startup sounds. That is very genuine, guys. I like that. Okay, now as you can see, no 737 stuff. All the generators have taken over. Turn the APU off. Engine anti-ice needed. Let's do another recall check. Now we don't have any ground crew. Flaps 5. Now flight control check. One thing that I already read on the forums, which is definitely accurate. Well, it's not simulated, but it should be simulated. When you do a flight control check in the triple, if it's in real life or in the full flight simulator, there's a distinct wobble as you move the elevator, because just the way the airflow goes over the elevator. So even if you're standing still on the ground like this and you're moving the flight controls, even just a slight movement, and now we can hear the air conditioning packs coming on again. Nice. There's a very distinct wobble on the plane. It would be nice if this was sort of simulated. Maybe in the exterior view we can view that. It's pretty loud, sorry about that. Oh, okay. Alright. Let's see. I should be using this button. I don't really see that here, but you can feel the aircraft shake a little bit. So, I mean, if you would do this in real life, you would not make the passengers happy. Yeah, so that's something quite characteristic for the 777, and mostly so on the 300. So it would be nice if that was maybe included. But, right, and a rudder. Hold the tiller while you're at it. And the thing that you're checking here is basically full range of motion. Make sure everything centers nicely as well. Nothing is jammed. No ICAS messages pop up. Okay, perfect. And fun fact, on the 787 you have to do push the steering disconnect switch. On the triple you just hold the tiller. On the 787 you actually have to push a steering disconnect switch when you test the rudder on the ground to prevent the nose gear from moving. One other thing that I always have in the sim these days is that the front goes a bit blurry, but I can fix that by doing this. I don't know why that is, guys. But we can see the line sharply right now, so that's good. Okay, so cool. We can do a before taxi checklist. Before taxi checklist, anti-ice auto, recall checked. Again, it should go to the next step as you press the touchpad button right here. So I think they modeled that before on the prepared version. Flight controls checked and the ground equipment clear before taxi checklist completed. Just need to have this side flight director on. There we go. Okay, so let's just start taxiing. Kind of know where we are. We calculated for full length, so let's just take full length. And then we'll go from there, guys. Well, parking brake is already released, apparently. That's okay. And the left is clear. And the right is clear. So we can have a bit more taxi experience. Of course, in general, the 777 is way heavier as you taxi for departure. It's way heavier. Let's see, stream is still doing okay. I think we had a little hiccup there. Is everyone back online? I saw something turning red on OBS, but I think we're back online. Yeah, good. There we go, guys. There was a little pause. Okay, well, we're back. Luckily not during the most important moments. Again, on the ground the engine sounds and the whole cockpit sounds is quite very accurate. I really like it. A little hiccup. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll turn right here on Alpha. Now, with these kind of tight corners, is the ground camera definitely of help. You can kind of using the edge of the windows to determine when you start to turn. You will see that you need quite a bit of oversteer. So on the 737 you would have made the turn by now, but here on the triple, probably a bit slow right now, but you would only start the turn right now. So it takes a little getting used to when you fly the plane for the first time. And then just adjust as you make the turn. But as you can see, it ends up quite nicely if you use that as a reference during your turn. And also the triple has a main gear axle steering, which helps, yeah, definitely helps during these kind of turns. Make sure you keep your speed nice and low, at least below 20 knots, but you know, about 10 to 12 knots in these kind of sharp turns is really quite the limit. You don't want to stress the nose gear too much. Okay. Now there should be a cabin ready message coming soon. Yeah, this is just a sim thing, you know, there's quite a bit of, it can jitter a little bit, but it really depends on the configuration of your joystick. But it's okay. Nice. These rattling sounds are very much from Prepared, I recognize them. Yeah. Again, it would be nice to have just a bit more variation with that, a bit more new recorded sounds, but let's see. Did your Cytec yoke broke? No, it was still working. Wow. But I just felt like I needed some improvement. I have had this one for about the honeycomb yoke for about 2 years now, I think. Quite happy with it. Of course, it's not still not the most realistic, but it just adds a little bit. It's much more smooth. Also, the honeycomb Bravo throttle, really nice to have. I kept running with the Cytec throttles for a long time, but they retired in the meantime. They were really spiky and going all over the place. But yeah, I'm using the old, these trusty handles. You might still recognize them. They were on the Cytec. I made a little adjustment to make them fit, and then these wires go for the auto throttle disconnect switch and the TOGA switch here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, indeed, Mike also says that the thrust mounted Boeing yoke is really nice, correct angle, indeed. Also the throttle, you know, the honeycomb Bravo is not really at the right angle. It's really weird to have it on your desk and going like this. So I kind of put it in a box at an angle. So the angle of the throttles is now sort of corresponding to what you see here. So you can see it's quite flat, you know. And of course the range of motion is a bit different too. But it works, guys. It works. Flight simming is a lot about just making it work. Okay, where are we? Alpha 8. Okay, still have a bit of taxiing to go. Get a bit of an outside view. Sorry if it's loud. Oh, this is not that loud yet, but looking good. Spinning animation. Could be a bit more detailed maybe, but I don't know. Beautiful, huh? Got a little taxi light going actually. There we go. Beautiful. Now I have to. There we go. Now everything is sharp again. Okay, the cabin ready message is not coming yet. Let's see. In real life we would wait for that and then let them take their seats. Quick review of departure, straight ahead 6000, pretty much on LNAV and VNAV, and we'll see how it performs. And we can do the before takeoff checklist, and it should just appear next in the sequence before takeoff checklist completed. Okay. Alright. Let's see, guys. Feels a bit empty without traffic, but from what I saw, there are a lot of triple pilots at the moment that are flying on VATSIM, testing the aircraft out. Favorite destination in real life? Oof. I like the US in general. Los Angeles, San Francisco. Those will be kind of my favorite destinations, I think, at the moment. One more sip of water before we go. A little test flight to Dublin. Let's see, Alpha 4, Alpha 3 should be up next. So let's see, we are already cleared. There we go. Strobe lights. Okay, get ready, guys. We'll make a nice departure here. Again, steering on the ground feels really good, even with a cheap joystick like the one I have. Do a quick check of the weather. Wind is 250 at 14, so we have a bit of crosswind from the left. So let's see how it handles that. The doors are still manual as well. So something did not trigger the movement here. Maybe we can do that ourselves. I think we can. These are the reasons that I usually don't take aircraft like this on a flight on VATSIM, because there are always things like this that pop up. I just want to where did we go? Have that sorted. Doors auto. Maybe the cabin crew cabin ready message will come now. Hello Mitchie, welcome in. Petros, welcome in. I don't know, I don't have them, so I wouldn't be able to help you with that. So the cabin ready message might show up, but alright, we are cleared. And takeoff. Starts moving a little bit easy. In real life it would take a bit more thrust rev. A bit more thrust to get moving, I think, but no. Thrust set, 80 knots, yeah. Handles quite nicely on the runway. Rotates. There we go. Bolster rate, gear up. Take it easy, guys, with the plane. Just rotate it nice and easy. Thrust with VNAV speeds. And we start accelerating already. Look, now we get some wind, so it will be easy to, or interesting to see how the airplane responds to that. Flaps 1. We'll ignore all the restrictions. Climb to a higher altitude already. Hit altitude intervent a couple of times. Try to multitask a little bit here. Ooh, this is interesting. Ah. Okay. Quite a bit of input required there with that crosswind, but okay. It feels smooth, but it does feel like a big plane, and that's good. But it's just this MSFS system that is making it challenging for this plane. You can notice that, but that's okay. I'm sure it will be even better in FS 2024. Okay, let's see. There we go. We'll climb to cruise altitudes 320. It handles nicely though. I mean, in real life you can have a wake turbulence like that maybe, and you would also require quite a bit of input to correct for that. So, yeah. Okay. After takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist completed. I'll hand fly a little bit more through these clouds. Xavier, welcome in. The wait is finally over indeed. So we have a fully fledged airplane. Past transition altitude, set standards. Here as well. I mean, it feels nice. It's definitely not bad. First time we're testing it in windy conditions. Look at those clouds. Nice. I'm not. Well, I'm pleasantly surprised by how it reacts to winds, which can be a bit excessive in MSFS. Again, I'm using the medium option with the turbulence settings in MSFS. So let's see how it feels like during the approach in Dublin. Cool. And now above the clouds it feels nice and smooth again. Okay. Let's get a bit of a wing view. That sounds good, right? Here, this actually does sound good. This is pretty much spot on. But that's just the high pitch from the cockpit all the way in the cockpit. Yeah. Nice though. I mean, yeah. I mean, quite a bit of flying hours of this aircraft and prepared, of course, which was always great fun. Which some people also said it was like a real simulator, but yeah. Okay, look, in the turn, quite a bit of input required. Feels a little bit too much sometimes, the amount of input required for the aileron. It could be done with it a little bit less, but yeah. I'm pushing on the yoke right now, so make sure you really just get the pressure off that yoke by trimming. Trimming system is very well simulated, I think. It feels very genuine. And the aircraft just nicely, stably flies itself. Cool. I do have FS Realistic turn on as well, so there is a bit of camera shake. That's all from FS Realistic. Nice. I mean, this is how the 777 flies, guys. It's very well simulated. You know, at some point it feels like you're on autopilot, but we're not on autopilot yet. If you can just leave it like this, in stable conditions like this, which makes it a very pleasant aircraft to fly, actually. Cool, really cool. We'll one more turn here, and then made his first VATSIM flight. Nice. Hope that went well for you. Let's see here. Ah, beautiful, huh? Look, in the back is a bit too much rumble. But in the front here, the sounds are good. So it really depends where you are in the aircraft, whether it sounds good or not. So yeah, easy turning. Look at that. See, no, I'm not giving any elevator back pressure. Oh, a bit too much. Just a little bit, maybe. That is very genuine. As the aircraft climbed itself to flight level 320. Davey says the trim speed system is quite challenging. Yeah, it is getting used to. But if you get used to it, if you just, you know, treat it like a lady, then it will be fine. It's all about just relieving pressure of the yoke, you know. Once you are at a certain speed and you notice that you're pushing too much, just relieve the pressure from the yoke at that speed. That really helps. And during approach, just try not to trim too much, because just set a speed, or let the autopilot set a speed, and then you don't really need a lot of trimming during the approach in this airplane. Okay, enough work. Autopilot. There we go. Autopilot in command. Another tiny little sound thing, you know, when you hit toga, the auto throttle servos make quite a bit of distinctive noise also as you move the throttles up a bit. I didn't catch that. But yeah, look how stable it is. Very nice. Just gonna do a quick check of the weather at Dublin. Winds 270 degrees 13 there. Okay. The 300 ER and the 200 ER. I don't think so. Never do that anymore in real life. Transatlantic ops, yeah, the plan is, but I am gonna let the dust settle a bit with this plane. Just make it, you know, make sure some of the initial bugs get ironed out. Real hello from Sweden. And gold eyebrows, that's the pitch limit indicator. It's the point at which it will display when the flaps are out or below certain speeds, low speeds. It will display, and then it will, once you hit the pitch limit indicator with your pitch, the stick shaker will sound. So it's just a safety mechanism to make sure you do not over pitch the airplane. Alright guys. Nice. Wind sounds are the most dominant sounds on airplanes. And that's accurately simulated. Quite a lot of wind sound here. Cool. So I'll just quickly load up an approach going to Dublin. Let's see. Maybe we can see which runways use in real life at the moment. That would be fun. Well, looks like the 09 runways are unused. That's weird. With this weather. I'm just gonna plan for 27 rides. I might just adjust the weather a bit. Speed enough path. See how it captures that altitude. That's interesting indications right here. Huh. Shouldn't be popping up like that. We have nicely leveled off. Good. Okay. I might just do add a little bit of crosswind just for the fun of it, but we'll see. ILS 27 rides, and we're going to be flying via VATSIM. Let's see which arrival that would be. VATSIM for Lima. Oh, I'm in the still in the Heathrow arrivals. 28 rides. VATSIM for Lima, and then we have some sort of transition via Pisa. We do that. Have a little bit of a scroll through this. Checking all the restrictions. Okay. Well, we'll probably give ourselves some vectors or things like that. See what happens there. And Dan's first VATSIM flight went alright. Need to practice Unicom traffic reports. Yeah. Oh, it can be busy on VATSIM with Unicom as well. So, but you will do alright. Just take a good listen. I think I made a video of that about that actually in the past as well, but that was still when there was Unicom only via text. Okay. So we just loaded up the arrival in there. 28 rides is okay. Perfect. Alright, we'll burn about 4 more tons of fuel before we get there. So let's make that 220. Make a flat 30 landing, 140. There we go. Alright. Perfect. Short flights. Now, of course, you can also simulate a lot of failures. I personally don't really simulate failures in my flight simming flights because of, you know, it's very much a multi-crew thing. But if you want to, you can do that. So that's really nice. We already had a bit of a look what happens with the checklist when you have a primary flight computer turned off. Let's see, where is it? FS actions or anywhere else? Auto cruise, that's nice to have. Options, aircraft failures. Ah, there we go. So engine failures, programmed, or you can also add maintenance to it. Maybe I can show a little bit of an engine failure to see what it looks like. I'm not going to go through the whole procedure then, but it might be fun. A little bit later as we get closer. So for the approach, in principle, let's see which minimums we're going to use. Uh, 415 on the barrow. And the QNH in Dublin, currently QNH 1015. 015. There we go. Okay. Concorde from Paris to New York. Ooh, that does sound challenging. Very fast flying. Okay, yeah, we'll just use Autobrick 3. That will be okay. And then just show you a quick look at the arrival. We'll make that our arrival briefing for today. VATSIM. And then we'll fly this whole path. Maybe I'll factor myself around as we explore maybe a little engine problem. And then the ILS. 28 right here. Starts at 2,500 feet in principle. Inbound course 278. Case of go around, climb straight ahead to Delta Whiskey 040, then turn right to Delta Whiskey 041, 042, maximum speed of 200 knots, descend 10% to max 3000 to Zürich to initiate another approach or as directed. Okay, let's see what happens. Welcome in, Copper, good morning. Pretty comfortable on the flight deck, yeah, it does look kind of familiar, yeah. Makes it a bit easier, but still, it's in the sim it's always different. There's always those tiny little differences that make you go like, oh yeah, how does that work again? But so far so good, enjoying it very much. Let's get a bit more cabin views here. Maybe we can do a quick tour of the cabin a little bit. In cruise time, we get some coffee. Looks like we have some coffee, that's good. Some ovens with some good snacks. Doors are armed, oh, that's cool. Guess that's all part of the simulation. Nice business class chairs, it's always good. Check the view from here. Well, actually I want to look a little bit into the engine, let's see. It's fun. I mean, it's nice that they included a cabin. I really like that. It, especially on long flights, you might just want to enjoy a cabin view every now and then, right? Let's see if I can get a bit better view. It's always a bit challenging. Cool, right? It is cool. Yeah. Very nice. So about 2 degrees of pitch, 2.5 degrees of pitch is quite normal for cruise flight like this, so it's slightly pitched up. Oh. There we go. I always love these kind of shots. Makes it look like it's from a movie. Nice contrails too. It's beautiful. Beautiful plane. What can I say? I'll leave you to judge the rest, but amazing. Nice. Okay, we're approaching our top of the descent, so we can do a bit of a descent checklist. Check the recall, descent checklist, recall checked. Notes we don't have auto brake 3, landing data, VREF flaps 30 140, barrel minimums 415, and approach briefing completed, descent checklist completed. Okay. Regarding real life, how it handles, yeah, like I said, quite genuine. Ailerons maybe a bit too insensitive at times, but during the first impression start at the start of the stream, it was actually quite good. So in general, it handles really nicely. Yeah, especially considering the MSFS environment, it does things really well. So very pleasantly surprised there. It actually takes a bit to our top descent, but that's okay. Again, it's hard to judge because a yoke like this, it's very much a force thing, you know. It requires force to make a turn, and you can kind of correlate it to the amount of input that you give with the yoke here in the sim. And that's, if you kind of correlate, you know, what would a degree of input correlate to a turn at this altitude. It seems kind of genuine, but yeah, very good, handles easily. But again, it will take some more flights for me to really give you a good opinion on that. For now, I'm very satisfied with it. Yeah, I think you can also be all satisfied with it actually. Alright, soon we'll start our descent. As we are flying towards Dublin. It's cool, guys. It's really cool. one more night shot. I just want to experience the night one more time here. See what it looks like. There we go. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, you can imagine, you know, crossing the Atlantic like this. Okay, it would be the other way around. Okay, let's do it in the morning. There we go. And we would be most likely flying in the other direction, but seeing the first bits of lights on the flight deck, always nice. It just adds to the atmosphere. It's so good. It's really good. Perfect modeling, perfect lighting effects, just perfect. And really at night, of course, quite dark. Of course, turn on a bit of dome lights, especially if there's someone in the back. Storm lights would be a bit bright. Don't really use that except on the ground or in case of storm. But yeah, you can really, I love the fact that you can play around with a lot of these lights here. That's really beautiful. And then it would of course slowly get morning as you cross the Atlantic. Sun starts shining into the flight deck. Cool, right? Yeah. Brilliant, guys. Alright, we're approaching the Irish Sea, from what I can see. Show you quickly where we are. I think we have Navigraph Simlink installed. Nice little chat with the Navigraph people, by the way, at the FS Expo. Seems like they're gonna get some competition in FS 2024. FS 2024 is gonna come with some quite advanced flight planning software. But let's see. Okay, starts reducing a little bit. I'm not even sure what the descent speeds are set to. Okay. Okay. So where are we flying? Right here. About to cross the IRC. And the engines go to idle. Let's see how the air system is doing. It did pop up for a minute there, I'm not sure why. Maybe you were climbing too fast. But okay. Good day, Fabian. Glad you could make it. Definitely enjoying the job. Now on a triple, in the hold mode, you can, you know, advance the thruster levers a little bit if you want to make a bit more shallow descent. So of course you could switch to like a vertical speed or something to make the descent more shallow. So you can also just increase the thrust a little bit there to make your descent more shallow in the VNAV path. Okay. Oh, we're there, Dilly. I'm not sure. Yeah, I was there only on the Saturday for a few hours. I didn't go that long, but it was great. A nice time there. Also loved the FS 2024 presentation. Nice to see some of the main figures behind FS 2024 in real life. Okay. Let's continue our descent here. Maybe first to an altitude of 10,000. Also interesting to see all the AI things that are happening in the flight simulator world. AI ATC, a lot of AI involvement with what's it called? Terrain features, like depending on the biome where you're in, whether you are in Asia, Africa, Europe. You know, just from a satellite picture, the AI will generate where little stones, little rocks are everywhere. Yeah, from the initial impressions, it looks really nice. Really nice to see the sim come to life. You can really, from commercial aviation to crop dusting, you can really, I think, explore a lot. I'm not sure how heavy it will be on the system, but it looks really good. Alright. So now, of course, let's do a bit of a challenge for the PMDG 777. We just made a very easy landing, but I want to see if it can handle a little bit more. So let's see if we can simulate a failure. Like I said, I don't usually do this, but just for once I'll make the exception. Options, aircraft, failures. Oh, Copper, it says it's in Providence, Rhode Island next year. Oh, let's see. I think that will be a bit hard for me to get there, but oh, I thought it was always in Las Vegas, but maybe, apparently I'm wrong. Maybe I can try the FS weekend in Lelystad. It's a bit more closer to home. Okay. Fire would be nice. Programmed engine, yeah, one of these engines, give them a little fire. What happens if it's active? Yes. Does that trigger it immediately, or Yes. I don't know. Oh, I need to hit execute. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see if the triple can handle it. So engine failure, engine fire. It should not. Yeah, it depends a bit on the severity of the case. Should not lose the thrust on the engine immediately. But the aircraft should be able to keep its path quite well. We do have a bit of crosswind on this leg, so let's see what happens. Execute. Oh dear, engine fire right. Nice. Do we see anything outside? No. That's not simulated. In the real, I'm just gonna let the alarm go for a little bit. In real life you would be all busy right now, of course, but in real life in the 300 ER you could of course use the camera function actually to check also the engine fire. Fortunately doesn't work. It's even more funny when you have an engine separation. Then it just totally removes the engine in the simulator. Anyway, let's see what pops up. We have a fire engine right message. Flight path is under control. As you can see, the airplane's still flying nicely, but also because the engine is still sort of running normally. AGT is increasing. Fire engine right message. We have fire on the fuel control switch and corresponding indications right here. So I think we can all agree that we have a fire on the right engine. So we will do the memory items. Also arm switch right, confirm off. Thrust lever right, confirm. This one is at idle. Fuel control switch right, confirm. In the meantime you can see the left hold. Cutoff. There we go. Let's see how the airplane responds to that before we continue. Just want to see how the simulation responds. In this case, not much happens. I mean, we are in idle thrust, so it should be fine. Nice engine sound, by the way. Cool. Engine fire switch right, confirm, and then pull. And if the message stays shown, which it does, we're going to rotate to the stop and hold for 1 second, and then start the timer. Okay. So now let's see if the fire goes out. The bottle is discharged and the message is removed. Okay, so we've had a fire on the right engine, as you can see. Memory items are completed. I'll just wait for the 30 seconds first. Aircraft is doing its thing in the meantime. 30 seconds have passed. Message stays shown. No. Well, memory items completed. Okay, so nice. Aircraft, as you can see, in control. It just works. So right now you would just well, continue this descent nicely. We're just gonna let's give ourselves a bit of a heading, give ourselves a bit more time. Of course, I took some extra fuel for a reason. Heading 360, we'll descend in flight level change for now. 250 knots. And as you can see, the FMA indications are corresponding. So we have the auto throttle on the right now off, so that's really nicely simulated right here. Okay, so let's just the airplane do its thing. In real life, you would also select the continuous thrust or the engine out right here, and then also make sure that continuous thrust is set. Okay, so we'll just let the airplane descend further to 10,000 feet for now. So it does come up with a checklist, equipment cooling override. Well, I can go through this whole checklist. Well, we can go through it for fun. Condition: the equipment cooling system is in override mode. Wait 2 minutes. This allows time for any smoke in the system to clear. Alright, so as you can see, these checklists usually already come with a timer, so that's really nice. Of course you could time with using the clock button, which is easily mistaken for the microphone button, by the way, but the checklist already starts timing for you. So we'll just wait 2 minutes, and then we'll see how that goes. In this case, you'll probably also maybe do the fire engine right checklist first, but just for demonstration purposes. Let's see. In the meantime, aircraft's heading nicely, right? Heading select. Maybe we can see some of the inputs change, especially as we get thrust on the other engine, nicely compensating for asymmetric thrust. So let's see at level off and then during the approach how it responds there. So yeah, it's really nice that PMDG simulates this. You can have some fun. Don't do this on VATSIM, I would say. Just do this offline. Unless you beforehand with a controller agree to simulate a failure scenario like this. But you don't want oh, forgot the landing lights there. Well, we can leave that all on. Yeah, I just want to make sure that you don't disturb the normal flow of traffic there. But it's interesting to see what the aircraft kind of does. And yeah, again, it being PMDG, it seems like it's all very nicely simulated. But we'll put it a bit to the test. Let's see how the automation does on the approach. And give it a bit of a challenge. So as you can see, the time rest removed is at 0. Wait 2 minutes. This allows time for any smoke in the system to clear. Equipment cooling switch off, then auto. The equipment cooling override message should blank. That's this one over here. Off, auto. And indeed does. Very nice. Wait 1 minute. This allows time for the system to reset. So we'll do that. So yeah, nicely simulated. I mean, this all works. You saw the little things like the EGT increasing once we had the engine fire. The fire being nicely put out by the bottled discharge. There was still another fire bottle left if necessary. I mean, this is so cool. It's really cool. Really in-depth simulation right here. So yeah, I think we can all be very happy with that. Now one more thing to test is just to see how it flies with one engine. It can do an auto land, the triple, with one engine. So let's see. I think I just want to land manually, but we'll see. Maybe we'll do a go around. Let's wait 1 minute. This allows time for the system to reset. Equipment cooling override message stage blank. I'll do a little recall. Yes. Okay, checklist completed. Nice. Okay. And then, of course, fire engine. So we did all these memory items. We did this. We switched to the one side, one stop and hold for 1 second. No. So yeah, let's just finish this checklist off, and then APU is available, so we start that. Transponder mode selector TA only. Where is it? TA only. There we go. Plan to land at the nearest suitable airport. Well, how suitable would Dublin be? And as you can see, the triple, you know, it inhibits all the checklists that are associated with this failure. So normally auto throttle right would be a checklist, but it knows, the system knows that it has to do, of course, with this engine fire. So it will inhibit such checklists. And in the background, also during takeoff, you know, things like that, a lot of ICAS messages are actually inhibited and will only show up later. So there's a lot of system logic behind the airplane, and PMDG, I know, has simulated all that. So yeah, I am planning on making some more in-depth videos, a bit more technical background knowledge on the 777, so you can kind of see how that works. But there's more going on in the background than you think, and that's why aircraft like these take such a long time to develop, right? So okay, we're leveling off. So let's see how the automation handles that. Here on heading select. 10,000. Left speed alt. And of course this is a bit tricky because now the airplane has to really compensate with the rudder. But as you can see, it's doing it very, very nicely. The yoke is straight. There's a bit of rudder input. Rudder trim, as you can see, is going all the way up here as well. So very nicely done. And the real airplane also does that very nicely. APU is running in the meantime. Yeah, landing using flaps 20. Let's do that. We can move the ground proximity flap override switch to overrides. Overrides. Note use flaps 20 and VRF 20 for landing and flaps 5 for go around. Checklist complete. Okay, perfect. Wow, that was a bit of a demonstration of a failure right here. So yeah, in real life you would do all the calculations necessary right now, of course. Make sure it can land. I'm just going to skip that for now. We're going to use auto brake 4. I think the runway there is long enough. Otherwise we'll see. We can take a little bit look at the brake performance of the PMDG 777. It should be good enough. So there we go. Checklist is complete. Okay, well, all the indications, yeah, it's a bit of rotation still. Again, I don't think you can see anything on the outside here. Yeah, it's rotating a little bit less fast. Cabin ready, oh that's good. And of course in real life you would go through the whole scenario, maybe call the maintenance department, get the cabin crew informed, stuff like that. But I'm not going to go into all of that. We're just going to shoot an approach right here. Let's see, do we have any other checklists? Approach checklist is next, so we'll do that later. Yeah, the only difference right now is we're going to be using flaps 20 and flaps 5 for go around. And let's just descend first to flight level 70. Hit a level change, left thrust, flight level change speeds. Nicely done. Very nicely done. So yeah, as you can see, using the some of the failure management, you can look a bit more into the in-depths of the simulation. Okay. We do have a status message as well. Bottle 2 engine, fuel spar valve right. Well, that's all corresponding status messages. That is indeed correct. Nice. Okay, so let's see how it does this approach. One more check the weather here, 27 right, 28 right, a little bit of crosswind, within limits for an auto land, so it should be okay. And as you can see, the aircraft, even if I push the throttle up again, quite aggressively, nicely compensating for that asymmetric thrust. That's very well done. Beautiful. Okay, let's start the approach, and slowly we'll descend to 2,500 feet. And let's see if we go direct to Hokkaido. What our path looks like then. Okay, I need to center this a bit more, but we'll take our time. we'll see how the plane will handle this. I'm gonna vector myself a little bit. Above the IRC. Now the aircraft now is of course well below the maximum landing weight. But if you would, you know, be heavy, if this would happen just after departure, you would of course have to either dump fuel or you know, if you had a fuel jettison checklist. So if you have the non-normal menu here, you have unenunciated checklists. So unenunciated checklists are checklists that pop on up on the ICAS. Or you have the, let's turn on some terrain and weather, by the way, just for fun. Past the transition altitudes, QNH 1015. Set 3 times. So you would, if you need fuel dumping, you can do that via this checklist, or an overweight landing via this checklist. So there are some hidden checklists in here that are worth reviewing. But in this case, we are fine. We're nicely below maximum landing weight. Okay, approach checklist then. Approach checklist altimeters 1015 4900 3 times. Approach checklist completed. And I can show you already. I think. As you can see, there are some notes. Use flaps 20 and VRF 20 for landing and flaps 5 for go around. So that's actually something that you would come across in the descent checklist. So let's say you check the recall notes, and you know, okay, we do have some notes. So those go from the non-normal checklist to the normal checklist. They are attached to it, and it says fire engine right, use flaps 20 and VRF 20 for landing and flaps 5 for go around. So those are the notes that could pop up in this part of the descent checklist. Auto brakes 4, landing data. Yeah, it's handy to go through such checklist again, even if you did it, to go through all these items. VRF flaps 20, 159er, barrel minimums, what was it, 414, 415? One more, oh, I mean this one. VRF flaps 20, 159er, barrel minimums, 415, and approach briefing completed. Although, yeah, in real life you would definitely brief a situation like this a bit more advanced. Because things can happen, like checklists can pop up. Of course, we're running on one engine, so there will be a fuel imbalance at some point. So you also have to brief. Okay, a checklist like this might pop up. What we're gonna do then? Fuel low might pop up. All things like that. So it's good to keep that all in mind. All right, I think we can slowly start moving towards the approach here. 2500. Left engine roaring here, and we'll see how the automation does it, this part. As you can see, it handled the engine failure already quite nicely during the descent and the level off there, so let's see. Nice. It does seem to spin quite fast there. Indeed a cool roar. But this one shouldn't roar that much. Okay, nice and long final. Let's get ourselves a little bit up here. Start reducing. Flaps 1. And again, with speed configurations, even with the engine out condition, you can see the automation is doing it nicely. That's Very well modeled. Flaps 5. Okay. Let's see, we'll start to make a bit of a right turn here. This nicely lined up. And again, yeah, now the aircraft is very light, of course. We're quite lightweight, but you can imagine that if something like this happens just after a maximum takeoff weight takeoff, it is quite challenging. This, I mean, all the calculations are made for that, of course, and it should all be flyable, but it is quite challenging. You have to, yeah, the boundaries get very small, so you have to really take it easy. Okay, again, engine sounds a bit engine sounds in this case. Okay, well, arm approach, all the indications are correct. Well, yeah, like I said, Franco, it's not that loud. The whine, the roar, you can hear. It also depends because you have a headset on. Look, there's the fuel imbalance checklist. Nicely simulated. Already as briefed. Of course, you don't want to delay such a checklist too much. Now we're already going to join the approach, so we can do it. But after go around, we'll go through this checklist. Nicely simulated that it points out the fuel imbalance and then indicates it as well. So we'll take note of that. Checklist not normal. Yeah. So yeah, it's not that loud, the whine. Yeah, but yeah. Let's see. Start heading 250. Let's see. Localize glide slope armed. And let's see, Dublin is already in sight. Oh, in the distance. I think there's the runway, so that's good. Let's see how the automation handles this. The pilot, welcome in. Good to see you streaming. It's been a long time. I cannot promise, guys, that it's public live streams will happen that much. I'm not flight simming that much. I do member only live streams quite a bit. But yeah, it's good to be back a little bit. I just wanted to show off this aircraft. Localizer is live. Nice and easy. So yeah, in real life, probably we would have had some time for the fuel imbalance checklist, but for now we'll let it go like this. Localizer. And Copper asked, did you get to see the Wing's upcoming sim hardware? Yes. Didn't try it, but it looks really good. Like very sturdy stuff. So who knows, we can try some of that later on somewhere else. Okay, so it gets configured nicely and early. All the corresponding indications on the overhead panel are also correct. where there's no generator, so that's perfect. Glide slope is alive. Okay, we'll get to gear down. Flaps 20. Let's see, yeah. And we'll start to reduce to 164. Okay, perfect. Nicely done. Glide slope, there we go. We do the landing checklist. We'll do that later. Landing checklist completed. Checklist not normal that we know of. And this is all what we know of. So let's see, guys. So far this approach doing well. I mean, we could even add a little bit more crosswind. There is a bit of crosswind, but man, as you can see, it's doing it nicely. Again, I'm not using the realistic settings with turbulence in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so you might see some different results. Took about 3 years for me due to COVID. Dilly has to do some real flight training. Nice. Oh, that's a good excuse. You may go. Okay, let's see, guys. Land 3 rollout flare armed. And again, the triple can easily do this. Bit of a wind gust there. Nice. Let's get closer to the ground. It's gonna become, of course, a bit more interesting. So far, so good.
1,000.
Stabilized. 1,000 call was a bit early there. Let's see how it does here. Okay. It's a bit of a challenge here. Correcting nicely. Cool. Not bad, not bad. I wonder what it is like in even worse conditions, but
500.
cleared. But let's say that the runway is obstructed, so go around. Flaps 5. Let's see if it goes flaps 5. Yeah. Positive rate, gear up. Nice. A bit of aileron in there. That's quite normal. Okay. Let's see what it does here. See, quite close to the limits. Was it 2,500? It's 3,000. That's what I forgot to set. When do you ever use the rudder trim? Well, left speed alt, there we go. Now it can accelerate. In these situations, yeah, definitely need some rudder trim if you're flying manually, especially. Otherwise, it's quite okay. Okay, 3,000. Let's give ourselves a heading. Heading selects. Flaps. Oh, you can go up in the meantime. Let's see how my MCP responds to this. Okay. Nice. Pretty good. Not tested during the worst conditions, but quite okay. Let's hit level change for a moment. Should set continuous thrust. Okay. This also works. Yeah, as you can see, this is how the autopilot manages a engine failure there on approach. Quite nice. I mean, this is a very, I can imagine, very challenging aspect of the plane to program. So that is good. That is good. Okay, we can do a fuel imbalance checklist right now. There's already a question by Cockpit. There's a bit of fuel imbalance, indeed. Of course, because we've been running on one engine. Does the 777 auto fuel balancing? Unfortunately not. 787 does have a function like that. But here we would have to go through the checklist. I'm just gonna to the engine malfunction or engine leak. Yeah, okay. It's a long checklist. I'm just gonna, for the sake of time, because I'm running a bit out of time myself, but skip through a little bit to this. But basically, we're gonna open a fuel crossfeed switch. Left main tank quantity is low. That's indeed correct. Fuel pumps forward and aft, left switches both off. This allows fuel from the higher quantity tank to feed both engines, which of course makes sense. The right ones have more fuel in them, so we let them feed. Let's see if that crossfeed is okay. Turn these off. Nice. Perfect. Fuel balancing is complete. We'll keep that open. In the meantime, we can do the after takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist complete. And we'll have this open for now. Yeah, what can I say, guys? It's good. Well simulated by PMDG. Nice to see that. Very nicely done. Okay, so let's see if we can fix this engine failure. So I can do one more just normal landing. Let's see. I'm not even sure if that's possible. Menu options. No, I always forget this where everything is. Clear all. Does that start up the engine again? No. Ah. Maintenance. Clear all. No. Would be nice if you would have a option to just make it work again, but from what it looks like, it doesn't work. But that's okay. We can also make a landing with one engine disabled. Unless anyone in the chat knows how to quickly fix that. Because clear active, clear all. Nah, it's not coming back. That would be nice. I mean, that would be something in the real simulator that you would definitely use, of course, to just get quickly going with something else again. So, okay. That's okay. So we'll just use the same settings, go in for another landing, and then unfortunately it's time for me to wrap up soon. So select another arrival, 28 right, and let's do Okado, intercept course 278. Yeah. Well. Yeah, you can restart it if necessary, of course. If it was an engine fire, I would not attempt it, but it is a possibility. If you just had a regular engine failure, you could go for an in-flight restart. There's an in-flight restart checklist as well. But I'm just looking for a function to just magically make it restart, but that doesn't seem to exist, unfortunately. If that could be added, that would be cool. Okay, let's see where we are. Start turning in that direction. So flaps 20, well, 1 knot less. Okay. Bare minimums maintain all the same. The approach briefing is all the same. So that's looking good. But we're flying with one engine. We're feeding off the main or the higher tank, as you can see right now. So that's okay. So we can slowly start making our way. So we can do the fuel imbalance checklist. We'll just have to wait for that to be completed. It will say so. Descent checklist, recall, all the expected items is checked. Notes, fire engine right, use flaps 20 and VRF 20 for landing and flaps 5 for go around. That is duly noted. Auto brake 4, still the same landing data. VRF flaps 2158, barrow minimums 415. Approach briefing completed. Descent checklist completed. And the approach checklist, altimeter 1015. It's checked. Let's descend to 2500 in the meantime. Left thrust slide will change speed. Okay. And I don't think this will happen in time, so I'm just going to override this checklist for now. And the landing checklist will be next. And then it will come up with the other checklist. Okay. We'll just override this for now. There we go. Left speed alt. And then we'll set up for another approach with one engine, but let's see.
2500.
And since something in real life you would probably do on Autoland too, because situations like this are very busy, but it's nice to see how it handles with one engine too. So let's see. Let's see, it's all still working. Perfect. We'll give another try for runway 28 right here at Dublin. Yeah. Better wake up for this landing. Let's see. Alright. We'll leave this throttle idle. Flaps 1. So we start reducing. Flaps 5. And we'll turn in. Heading 250. Perfect. We'll need some rudder there, probably. Even though you have the thrust asymmetry compensation, there's always a bit of rudder input that you need. Just to make you also aware of which engine is operating and which one is not. Kind of taking you back to you know, your flight training and small aircraft where the dead foot is the dead engine. It's always good for awareness. Any impressions? Yeah, well, this the whole stream. Gonna wrap it up soon after this landing, but if you want, you can look a little bit back. But overall, I'm just pleasantly impressed. Let's call it that way. Need to arm approach mode, localize glide slope armed. Yeah, I'll just give a quick conclusion after the landing, so I have something to put a timestamp on. Glide slope is alive as well, localizer. Right, to it right, a bit of crosswind as well. That's nice. Probably will turn a bit more into the runway. The wind's new variable between 220 and 290. So let's see what happens. Speed brake still armed. Perfect. Okay, let's go gear down and flaps 20. VRF plus 5. And glide slope. There we go. And then we can do the landing checklist. Landing checklist completed. Perfect. Okay, let's fly manually for a bit. One engine. Flight director. See, even when disconnecting, it's working nicely. There is a bit of rudder input trim there. Leave the auto throttle on, really helps a lot in these situations. Cabin ready, nice. Okay, here come some of the humps. See how it deals with that. Some of the thermal activity maybe. Although it's not that warm up here, but enjoy the landing, guys. With just one engine.
1,000.
Yeah, it's a bit more challenging now. The first landing in Vancouver was with no wind, but we're stabilized. But it's treated easy. Correcting glide slope. See, we're cleared. It feels a bit challenging here, but
Approaching minimums.
yeah.
Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Here we go. And pull the reversers off the working engine. Nice. The nose. Still getting used to here in flight sim, the nose getting down like that. Yeah, 60 knots. Cool. So on approach there, it was a bit wobbly. In real life, it's probably a bit easier to handle than in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I have that problem also with the 787, you know, the default one, the Horizon Sim one. Let's see, park and brake set. And also when the frame rates get a little bit lower, it is challenging, but automation wise, this thing handled it very nicely. All the indications are correct. Some of the non-normal situations we encountered are correctly simulated, nicely modeled. Yeah, so I'll just put a conclusion here. What I like, yeah, amazing airplane. I mean, it's PMDG quality. What else can you expect? Very good system simulation, I would say. Glad we were able to explore that a little bit in Vancouver, and also here during a little quickly set up flight. It's nice. Very impressed by how it handles, how it feels also on the ground and in the air. It feels genuine. Again, MSFS atmosphere conditions are challenging. You saw it on approach there, you know. It's quite easy to get off the glide slope. It's easy to get off the glide slope in real life as well. But yeah, it's just a bit harder to control in this environment. But in general, Perfect, perfect. Really nice 3D modeling of the cockpit. Texturing the cockpit. It just needs a little bit of adjustments. The knobs, the switches. Could be a bit more white in real life. But just nice to have all the smooth animations as well. Really good. Again, the only big topic that needs adjustment for me, from what I can say now, is sounds. Especially engine sounds. Sounds on the ground are nice, in cruise in certain positions are nice, in certain positions in the cabin I mean, but this whining sound of the engine it's just too much. It's really too much. Doesn't give an accurate representation of the power of the engine. It really needs some tweaking, preferably even better with some new sound sets, like brand new sound sets, newly recorded. Also, you know, compared with real-world footage, real-world inputs from real-world pilots, that would make this add-on even more better. So if they can work on that, if they can improve on that, then I'm sure this will be one of the best airplanes that we've had so far. And I'm looking forward to seeing it in FS 2024. That sim will also have new, you know, atmospheric features and the way the fuselage reacts with the air. There were all kinds of things in this new presentation. So I'm really wondering to see how it will be in that sim. But in general, impressed, happily impressed, happy to have this aircraft in the sim. I'm sure bugs that are encountered by some people in the forums will get squashed out. But from a real-world Boeing 777 pilot, I can tell you, it is a very nice simulation, very accurate, and you can have some great fun with this plane. Thanks for the compliments, guys. So I'll wrap up the stream right here, as we have landed in Dublin. Poor right engine, unfortunately failed. Again, I'm not that active with flight simming anymore, so I do member-only live full flights every month, so if you want to join that, you can. But other than that, not that much. So I will see what I will do in terms of live streams in the future. Probably won't happen that much, the public live streams at least. But I will make some videos on the 777. The plan is definitely to have a cold and dark startup tutorial that I'm going to work on soon. I know there are already some out there, but I just want to give you the AviationPro perspective. A VATSIM full flight recorded, I will probably do that as well once some of the initial bugs get squashed out, and then later on I'm planning on a bit more in-depth knowledge series about the 777. So that's kind of what is the plan for now. For now, thank you guys all for watching and joining. I hope you enjoyed the stream after a long time here on the channel. Thanks for your comments, chats and support as well. And I will hopefully see you next time. Stay tuned with the channel. And if you enjoyed the stream on the replay, hope you enjoyed it as well. So cheers for now from the 777, and I will see you soon on the cold and dark startup video.